Welcome back to Factorio building the Hyperbase. So I guess you can gather from the satellites has gone up a little bit that I have, the game's ticked over a little bit, partly accidentally, in a way partly deliberately, because if you remember we were having brownouts, and now that we've had this extra time, all this extra solar has auto-built for us. Which means we're now at 993,000 panels, which is quite a lot more than we had. And this is where it gets to. So we didn't quite have a brownout just then. Which means we've resolved the issue, but if we stack a bunch of additional production facilities on, we will be back to where we were, and that's not really going to be helpful. Excuse me. Right. Now, so the other thing that I have noticed is, well, we are doing our, 5 seconds, we're doing the 3.7, 3.8. A minute, we're doing the 3.7, 3.8 science. 10 minutes, we've been doing it for 10 minutes. An hour would have still been power affected probably, but it's close to it. Oh, the other numbers were probably looking reasonable as well. So, yeah, over 300,000 plates, about 200,000 copper plates, 150k or so of electric circuits. We're definitely getting up to starting to knock on the door of gigabase size at this point. Now, what I have been finding is that the space science volume has actually been growing slightly, or was, at the expense of normal science, and I trace that back to, yes, it was yellow science, but it was actually the supply of iron in particular was an issue, and actually in a way it still is, but the issue that we originally had was we just ran out of fuel, and I don't get a warning that we've run out of fuel, so the iron trains that have to go all the way over here had just stopped, so we weren't getting our processing units and so on built, because they were getting no deliveries of the other circuit trains, and so that had a flow-on effect, and these things weren't supplying fast enough. I have refueled them manually, but obviously that's not a strategy that we can run with, so what we need to do is finally sort out how we're going to fuel all the way up to here. Actually, where does that look in relation to this fuel? Because this fuel is basically being used to fuel this area, and eventually this will come down here and wrap round these other things, assuming we actually need all of these for their fueling. And it could even go as far as over to here. I think we do need all of these. Pretty sure my calculation isn't that bad. But I do see that this sits here, even with all of the stops that it's got now. It sits here for a very long time. I may not have finished all the stuff that I may have needed on this one, but I guess there's a lot of fuel in all of these. It does actually take quite a while for them to run out, which is why it's easy to ignore it for extended periods of time. But having set these up and having had the initial delivery, I don't think I've actually seen this thing run again. However, should I try and use that one Because what I was thinking was I would create another one altogether down here and have that sort of come here and come here, because these ran out of fuel as well, so that affected Purple Science. And come up here so that it can supply the fuel across here. It would also need to make a trip over to here and here. I think I will stick with that plan. It just seems a little bit neater, even though we're building a whole lot of additional infrastructure. And it has to obviously get to a point where it's fueling all of these trains and all of these trains. I'm not sure if we need the science as well. We probably do, so I may have to work out something there as well. This might have to be brought in closer. Oh, and at this rate we are smashing through the mining productivity research very quickly. I don't know why that's getting to there. Got tons of energy. It might be that this thing's forcing map gen to work. That sometimes does stuff, and scrolling out that far tends to slow it down as well. So with all that said, I guess let's head down here. To this oil facility. I don't actually have a lot of rail on me. I think what I want to do is, for starters, why is that coming back full? That seems rather short-sighted of it. Here comes one again. Full. What are you doing exactly? Plastic purple. What? It's flickering. How could it be flickering? Are you just on the cusp of the right amount? 112. I'm trying to do one of these averaging things, which at least it stopped this time, which I may not have set up correctly. Anyway, enough of that distraction. So yes, what I wanted to do it seems, even if I move this, like have this come in here and come down, this guy is going to be a long way out of the way. Why don't I have a look at what I did for this oil refueling? It's quite a long contraption actually. Do I have a spare blueprint? No, because I've left all of my blueprints somewhere. So that's the issue really. It's too long just to fit there, which would mean we'd have to shove it all the way out here, which is quite a long way away. Let's have a look at InviniZoom. So it could be something like this. Where it goes in. Oh, we need enough room for it to get around. Alright, you go there. No, when I'm in InviniZoom, I get confused as to which mode I'm in. Let's run back in. Let's see where we would be potentially taking this light oil from. I think it's at the other end. Yeah, that's where I've got all the conversion. That's awkward. No, they just come straight down. Well, I don't need to divert a lot. There's probably none left. The pipes, none of these are active, are they? No. Unless what we do is add one more refinery and let its petroleum gas come down here, and the rest of it is just making fuel. That might be the best option. Alright, let's see how that's going to look. Something like that. And yeah, we're really going to need some different setup soon. Let's stop the heavy going that way. That one doesn't need heavy going this way either. So the heavy can come this way. That actually works pretty well in terms of petroleum. So petroleum can just be pulled off. The heavy can come over here, get cracked, and whatever light we have, we can send out here and start making stuff. I think I like that. I think I need my my equipment. I think it was left up by the main base. Yep, I think that's it. So I think we'll go up there and we will get some oil making stuff. Right, nice long trip. And as you can see, just this chit chat, we've just about already done another mining productivity. go. Come on, little dude, slow down. Now before it fills me up with stuff, let's just grab that. I don't need those. In fact, let's auto trash. I probably do need them, and I didn't put them where I needed them. Let's get some research happening. I don't want that to take too long. Oh. Right, we obviously will need quite a few pipes. That's a good start. I don't think we're going to need a whole lot of pump jacks. We are going to need some beacons. Lots, actually. So there's probably no point getting too concerned about it. Seven. Actually, oh yeah, I will need a few of those. Oh, we're at 50. We don't need 50. Let's start with that, see how we go. Having this rail will be useful. And it'll be nice to have some reduced worries in terms of fueling traffic. Of course, it's not going to help UPS at all, but we know there's some other things. These guys, they're not here because they're out of fuel, are they? Just starts to worry me a little bit these days. No, you've got tons. Good. Why are you waiting then? Because you're trying to go this way, and this way there's a train here. What about if there was another stop just there? That's not going to be long enough, is it? There is a train out of fuel. Speak of the devil, that's not good. So that's why we need to be doing this. And perfect example. I don't really want to leave it unfixed up, so I might just, there's our yellow science. Alright, let's come into here. We will place one of these so that we can discard a few things. And then we'll run off and get some fuel. Once we don't actually have any just there. We have to come way up here somewhere. That's the rockets taking off. And we can get some fuel from this facility. go. And all the way back. A little distraction. Insane base. So any future base of mine needs to be able to access my supply train, which I might even turn into a lure based mod at some point, depending on what time I have for such things, because that will be a lot more UPS efficient as well. Where's this train? It's up here, isn't it? Not that one. It's this one. How's that one going? That one's pretty low as well. So that should mean we get another train up here very shortly. Why are you going straight through? You actually have plenty for some reason. Right, well let's just add like one more to each of these to use up the rest that we picked up, and then get back to our purpose. That one go on there. There we go. Yes, fueling automatically is a lot better than doing that. That's my recommendation. Wait a sec, we're not running out of fuel here, are we? No. Yes, no. One. You're low on fuel, but you're not out. We just have a traffic jam, maybe. You're trying to come up here, and there's a train there with very little left in it. Alright, we're obviously going to have to look at that. Get out of the way. And you can get out of the way. And then you can move. And then you can move. Where are you going? You're just a copper train, okay. And we get all that lovely action. Alright, very good. Now, all that time just got us another tech. Oh, I don't think I got refineries because I forgot that I was making those or adding those, but let's do this for a start. Come on, I have some modules on me, you can use them. That's okay. Wow, that's a long pause. There we go. Now, go go quite far enough with that, obviously. Now, while we're in the vicinity, we may as well do the water. And we are going to need one of these as well. Something like that. And this is not going to work. It's going to have to be something like that. Alright, so we will need a heavy to light conversion, otherwise this will just choke. Which is basically something like this. Get rid of these, they're not quite where we're going to want them. I don't care about the beacon efficiency, although given my power situation perhaps I should. So heavy. Comes to here. Actually what we should do is that. That's not the right direction. Water. Is that right? Something like that. And water's not going to be able to come this way. Could potentially be just here, which might make the most sense. That one. Suppose I could have just used the picker on that, but that would have involved having a look over there. Okay. Not sure where that's going just yet. Okay, so the other one. The other way we need to move this wire. We either need to push this all the way out to about here, which might be alright. Let's just see how that sort of pans out. We've got fast legs on apparently. If instead of coming straight down there, I don't know what that's for, we built an alternate route. That's going to be slightly too far over. Alright, let's do it from down here then. Okay. The rest of this we will be picking up. What's something I don't need? What is that? Might have something to do with solar. That's a fuel stop, but we can rebuild those, so let's just use that. Alright, let's jump in the plane so that this happens a little bit easier. Let's do it with the right armor selected. Okay. That's what we need. That should be fine. And that should be fine. Okay, so having done that, if we run our oil, our fuel, out to this sort of point, I've probably got this kind of going backwards at this point, but that's alright. I don't really care if I reverse left and right. It's whatever works for me at the time. So this might actually work better if I have it come up this way. Aha, more tech. You can go this way. Maybe we should do something like this. We're trying to get to there. We probably need some pumps along here. Maybe not that many. I'll put one in right here. Where's some power? Over there. We're going to need that to connect up anyway. Now we need a bunch of beacons. Yeah, at this point we mainly need a bunch of beacons. I think what I want to do also is create a small facility here which is mainly to keep these coal trains refueled. So we don't need anything particularly significant. Jump on that guy for a sec. But perhaps before this oil goes into there, it can go through a one of these kind of things to generate some of the good stuff. The good stuff. Don't need that. Got too many of these things now. So yeah, instead of just coming straight down here, we will direct that over here. Maybe I even have it go into a tank. And the idea is this is feeding not so much into a car, but just into a passive provider. And then the passive provider can have a little RoboPort network that probably doesn't go there, but goes does that go far enough? So the idea is it has to be able to pick up that, and it has to be able to feed over to there. We will want these guys. Oh, they're covered anyway. In which case, I'll use one of these. Yes, that looks perfect actually. Because now we can have a requester and actually I don't know how these trains are doing. We'll have a look in a moment. They're doing fine, so they probably don't need fuel for quite a while. And you can be requesting rocket fuel, the amount of, say, 4, since that's a single load for a logistic bot. Not that it really makes a lot of difference, because it's usually just one fuel at a time that's required. There we go. And up here, I think I want a tank, so I want at least a couple of tanks when I come back. Let's get 2. I need a refinery. I don't think I need 30 of those, and I need these guys. Let's just put 150 in. See if that's possible. Probably don't need all of these. Oh, do I have? I do. You're not going to need 50 of those. Alright, let's head back, get that stuff. Have a sip of coffee. We're almost up to 292. Go on, slow down. There we go. Okay, maybe 150 was too many. We probably have too many of those, so alright, that seems to be better. How's our power situation now? 998k, we're about to hit the million. Good grief. I knew we were going to get to a million. We need to. And most of it is the beacons, a lot of whom are still sitting around doing nothing. So, yeah. Crazy how much power those beacons consume. Oh, there's 291. Alright, let's get 292 happening. Slightly lost as to where we are. I think we're getting close to our target. Yeah, just down here. Let's start with these guys. I think we're going to run out of beacons actually. Oh, I completely forgot all the inserters that I need, and the cars, of course. This should put that guy in there. Oh, there's no power here, okay. Can we fix that? Fixed. And down here. We're actually out of beacons, so it's not going to do anything. But what we can do is put a tank. Tank is actually going to be a pain. That's where I want it. And coming out this way. We'll go to there. We'll put a pump in there. And see if we can get a wire. And this pump will only work if the oil is greater than 10. I don't even know if we need 10,000, maybe 5,000. Which won't take terribly long. And otherwise this is full being pushed over here. Now we're going to need a stack or two of those for next time. What else do we need? Need a few more beacons. We're going to need a train. I don't need the rail. We're going to need some cars. I probably don't need these tanks anymore. Since we've got that one. We probably need to top up the chests. Is 100 going to do? It probably will. Okay. I would like to just finish off this initial setup and then we can start laying out the track to all the locations that we need to have fueled. I think we're probably running a long episode again. Sorry guys. It's just you can't do that much. You can't do that much in Factorio, period. And in like 20-minute episodes. and when you have a base this size, it amplifies that issue even more. You need even longer to you know, achieve something. These things really need some air brakes, so they slow down a whole lot faster. Alright, I guess we run with that. Let's make sure this time that we get this new this oil here done, this refuel. They obviously are going to need their beacons. Now, that's basically done other than the speed modules. Sorry, I mean modules. I don't know why I said beacons. We have a few of these, so come on, put your prod modules out. It's probably not going to be enough, but it will be a start. Okay. And this is a 16 train, so 16 cars. We don't need any. Oh, I don't know why I picked up one of those. We don't need those. We don't need those anymore. There's bound to be somewhere I could use those beacons actually. Just drop them on somewhere that needs them, like over here, or even down here. Save having to bring them some other time. So that's some of the steel for purple science down there. Okay, so we were trying to work this out, weren't we? We needed cars. We don't need any more of these. We don't need any more of those. We need 16 cars, and we need a 416 locomotive. 16 cars is going to leave us only 3, which won't be enough, but if we get rid of a bit of other stuff, we should be fine. I don't need to be ordering those anymore. Alright, one last trip, guys, and then we will wrap it up. One last long trip. Wouldn't surprise me if something else has run out of fuel in the meantime. That's what happens if you ignore a logistic issue for too long. It just keeps biting you. There's the other one, probably still hasn't run. But I mean, that's good because the infrastructure will more or less just be asleep, I think. Let's get the 16 cars first, which are just here. Let's get another tech happening first. $16 cars. Locomotives, we needed 4. And 16 wagons. I might just get rid of rail for the moment to make room for that. $416, there you go. Just quickly grab some of those. I don't need 50, I need like... I've got far too many already. Okay, final trip down. This is a very, very fast jet, so this just shows you how big the base is. Whoops. Okay, cars, first of all. There's the cars, now the train. And I don't quite know how we're going to fuel this guy. Oh, we need modules and so on as well. Well, guys, I think we've been running long enough. I'll get all the modules sorted and maybe get some initial lines down around, you know, have it head off so that it can wrap around the back here. I need it to come up here fairly urgently. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to get in there. Maybe it will do something like that. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But that will have to wait till next time. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye for now.